Okay, because it's late and I've been working on other stuff. I've been lagging, so I'm just going to do a drunk story for when I was 21. Went back to Connecticut, visit family and friends from high school, and got my wisdom teeth out. Dry socketed about, I think I was there for 2 weeks, and I dry socketed about 3 or 4 days in, which was pretty painful. And my face swelled up, and basically the 2 weeks of painkillers they gave me, I ate like in a week. We got a second prescription, and then I ate those in half the time. And I wasn't really drinking or drugging or anything. I just, for some reason, the painkillers kept building a double immunity. So I would like take one, and then it would kill the pain for, let's say the first time was 4 hours. And then I would take one again, and then the pain basically was back in 2 hours, and it kept the same amount kept diminishing. So I would take like double the dose, and I wound up just, like I said, dry socketing, and my face was pretty swollen. And I was at a bar with two buddies, Troy Barbados and Noah Jones, and we were talking about how I lived there. Like, I don't know, I was just saying something like I've lived here for 6, 8 years, and I've been back a couple times, and I've never been to the Cape. And they were like, let's go. I was like, dude, it's almost 2 a.m. And they're like, and I go, my face is swollen, blah, blah. And they're like, let's go. So we kind of kept going over that. And it was like by 2 a.m., it was like we basically were like, okay, let's go. We're going. So Noah was going to drive his truck. We just had to go back to my place to get my toothbrush. And then, boom, we were on the road. And I was in complete pain. And we got all the way up to the base of the Cape, which is an area called Orleans. And I guess Noah knew some people there or something like that. And we were sleeping in the truck, and I literally was, I could feel my heartbeat in my face, like my jaw, where you dry socket. So, I don't know, like 4 a.m. or something like that, I just got up and went next door there was like a 7-Eleven right there, and I went in and I just got some aspirin and popped them. Completely took the pain away. Had I known that aspirin would have taken the pain away from the wisdom teeth, I would have saved the Vicodin for another time. That's all I gotta say. So, anyways, we roll into the next day, visit some of his friends, go to the beach, drinking all day long. And I remember even on the way out, Noah had to go to work, so he's like, dude, we got to go. He goes, I got to haul ass and get there because it's like I'm going to just make it. And so they don't call them freeways, they call them turnpikes. So I'm in the back, and he's got a cab on his truck. And I just remember being in the back, and I was just drinking like vodka orange juices out of like a big gulp kind of thing. Noah's driving. Troy's in the front seat, riding shotgun. The window's open, and I'm talking to him, and I'm sitting on like a tire, and we got a bunch of beer, I want to say vodka and stuff in a cooler, and we're driving, and basically, sorry, my balls itch. Noah decides to pick up some hitchhikers or something, and I don't know why. And he's like weaving through people and shit, hauling. Doing a good jaunt, but like, not like over 100, but just kind of like weaving through people. This couple gets in the back, and we start going, and like they're running from something. We don't know exactly what it is, but she's freaking out, and like he's driving too fast, and the dude's trying to calm her down, and he's trying to talk, and I'm fucked up in the back, so I'm just kind of talking to him, and I'm just like whatever. Finally, she's like, slow down. Finally, she's like, just drop us off. Noah pulls over. They jump out. We start to go and get a little ways down the turnpike, and then get pulled over. And I guess what had happened was they were on us for a while and we didn't know it. And so they went after the couple and then got them. And then basically she just started spilling the beans. They're drinking. They're because I guess they had like a warrant or something. And so she just started fucking fingering us. And so they came after us. But the weird part was there was a blanket in the back, and there was a bunch of like I just remember like a bunch of empties and shit, but they were like crushed. So I had a blanket, and I just fucking went like this, went over all of us, and then I slammed the cooler up against the bed, and so the cooler door closed. It was like one of those igloos, and they couldn't see anything in it, and then the blanket covered all the empties, and I'm just in the back, and I'm pretty. I got a pretty good heat on, and it's like when we were drinking, when we were younger, it's like I'm cocked. I just remember saying that one night, like all fucking night. I'm cocked. And it's like an East Coast term too, so it's like, cocked and ready to go. And Troy was drinking out of a big gulp, and basically, so they couldn't see anything, so they couldn't, which I don't understand, because probable cause, the woman's word on what we had in the back is usually probable cause enough for them to, please exit, and kind of. But I remember them walking around, and they kept kind of looking in the windows, and they couldn't see shit. So I never got pulled out, but I remember being in the front looking at the state trooper, and he had the drill sergeant hat and all that, and I'm looking at him through the back, and he's talking to Noah, and he's kind of giving him shit. And Noah's black, and it's like, small town, East Coast, blah, blah, blah. I mean, none of us had a beef or whatever, but it's like you never know if the police officers, what's going on or whatever. But he's kind of giving him shit, and I'm looking at him, and he kind of like looks up and he goes, I can't remember exactly what he said to me, but he referred to the fact, like, do I have a problem because I'm looking at him? And I said, no, sir, I think Massachusetts is a wonderful state. There was like a 2-second pause. And then he just looked back at Noah and said, I'll be right back. And he went to his car, and I guess he's running the driver's license or whatever. So I'm in the back, like, looking inside the bed or the cab of the truck, talking to him. And Noah, no. So I'm like kind of in the middle of the two. Noah goes, I gotta fucking pee. So Troy fucking hands him his big gulp container. Fucking Noah pees into it. Troy rolls down the window and tosses the pee outside without the cops seeing it. The funniest fucking thing in the world. And once he wrote him a ticket, speeding. I don't know if it was a registration or anything issue or whatever, but he let us go. And we got back and got Noah to work on time. And then we went to a bar afterwards and proceeded to get kicked out. But it was funny as shit because of the reaction. I just kept talking about it, where it was like, I didn't miss a beat when he looked at me, and I was like, no, sir, I think Massachusetts is a wonderful state. And I'm like, I think I just turned 21. Face swollen, just fucking jacked up on vodka orange juice. And then we dropped Noah off, stayed at his place for a little bit because he's working door at a bar, and then head over to this other bar and meet a friend of ours. Or he picked us up or whatever, but we go to this kind of, and the waitress was basically on me after about 15 minutes or whatever. She just kept kind of like, you need to calm down, blah, blah, blah. And I get a little wild, or I used to when I was younger. I mean, I still can get a little wild, but I was like, and they were kind of egging me on, and it seemed like I was the only one that was getting caught or whatever. And we had tapped out or something, or I didn't have any money on me, or I had a little bit of money or whatever. So we basically, and she kept bitching at me. I just remember her kind of like, and she was around my age, and it wasn't, I just felt kind of like, finger pointed, so to speak. Even when I tried to like tone down and keep it, every time she came back to the table, she was like yelling at me, which might have meant that she actually was digging on me, but I was too young to kind of realize that. We tipped her out, or we paid for the bill or whatever, and left. And I guess we left less than 20%, so she came out and was like ragging and stuff. And I just kind of turned to her and said, you know what? If I could give you less, I would, because you were just ripping on me the whole night. I go, but that's all we had, or something like that, and da da da. But she actually came out to the parking lot, which I get. I get working in bars. I've worked off and on in years, but it was one of those just drunk uh, um, stories or excursions that basically just everything kind of worked itself out. But it was like, I mean, we could have fucking done jail time. Noah, if they found any booze, then it was probable cause for them to test him for his drinking. And I don't remember how much Noah was drinking, but I was drinking a lot. That's for sure, because I was still in pain. But it was that was my drunk turnpike excursion. And it's funny because it's the only time I've been to Massachusetts. It was at the base of the Cape, Orleans, drunk, and hauling ass, getting back with swollen face from dry-socketed wisdom teeth. So that's my experience in Massachusetts from the mass holes, because that's just wicked, wicked smart there. Yeah.